happiness should be the driving factor, not money or where you live or whatever it is. But are you happy in that place? Are you happy with that job? Are you happy where you live? Are you happy with who you live with? Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Elsa to the podcast.
Thank you.
You see, I even have applauses for you. What are you thinking? Elsa, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to talk about your experience as a cruise ship member. That is related to me because one, you realize it's not for you, and I'm all the time about chasing happiness. And two, I was so close to be on a cruise ship myself. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a bit about that a bit later on. But before that, Elsa, I never met you before. We just interacted online a bit, and we interacted. We just have 10 minutes chat before we started recording this episode, and we started the live as well. The chat says, welcome, Elsa. So why don't you tell us who you are? Tell us something about yourself.
So my name is Elsa, like we just said, and I am from Portugal. I live in the Netherlands. I've lived in a few countries in Europe before the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And I work at the university it's the Royal Conservatoire The Hague. I am the international relations coordinator there, and before that I've been working in a lot of other international universities as well. And on the side I have been a dancer as well. Modern dancer, and nowadays I focus on tango, Argentinian tango. So in a nutshell, it's that I love cooking, I love traveling, and I also have a podcast, but it's a podcast about crazy stories about me.
Hold on. Okay, that's so interesting. So many things. I don't know where to start from, but you said you focus on Argentinian tango. Like, do you teach people to dance tango?
No, I'm still learning. No, I wouldn't dare. It's so hard. I started it not so long ago, like 5 years ago, Max. It's really hard.
5 years ago, you should be teaching already.
No, it's hard.
It's hard?
I don't do it like often enough because of my job and everything. So it's a hobby, growing slowly, enjoying it. It's for my happiness.
Nice. Okay, so where do you live in the Netherlands? Is it Amsterdam?
I live in The Hague.
In The Hague? That's a quite big European city when it comes to politics.
It is a very important one where all the politics of the Netherlands take place. Yeah.
Tell me a curious fact about The Hague. One curious fact about The Hague, and we move on.
One curious fact, the symbol of The Hague is a stork?
No.
Well,
Why?
The symbol of The Hague is a stork. Well, because of prosperity. They had chosen for that one because of prosperity.
Okay.
And you find it everywhere. If you are a tourist in The Hague, you have to look carefully at everything, like light poles or those poles on the sidewalks to avoid cars from, driving on the sidewalk, or symbols on the buildings. Everywhere you'll find a stork, like bus stops. Just look very well. You'll find the storks everywhere.
But in The Hague, are there actual storks?
No, I've never seen one.
Beautiful. Okay, let's move on. So, we're going to be talking about a story of your life, part of your life where you decided that you're going to be joining the dream life of a cruise ship member, right? How that happened, you quickly found out, spoiler alert, you quickly found out that that's not for you, right? How this happened, why you thought like, let's walk through it, because I'm really curious. As I said, we're chasing all happiness, not what people think, but what we think. So how all this came together, who came to you? Why did you decide to do that? How did you realize, oh, that's not for me? How quickly you went away from that?
Oh my God, very quick. That I can already, very, very quick. No, but basically, so I had been working in international education for quite some time already in the Netherlands, in another city. And I was already taking tango classes. And I found out that my tango teacher, he had been teaching tango on board of a cruise ship. And I thought, oh my God, that's like the dream life, you can travel, you can go around, you can dance, like, So I went to him and I asked, hey, Carlos, can you tell me, what do you think I could do on a cruise ship? And he was like, you could do this, you could do that, you could do that. So from that moment on, I was like on it. I found all the websites of all the cruise ships, you have like special recruitment websites to work on cruise ships. So I found everything and I applied for everything I thought would be more or less okay for me to apply for, that I could fit. And one day this guy calls me and tells me, oh, I'd like to invite you to work for us. And I'm like, oh my God, they found me. I was super excited. And they invited me to work as a culinary arts center hostess, which translated means I would be on stage. I love the stage. I have always loved the stage. I danced, like I said before. So that was one. Two, I would be traveling. Three, I would be doing something with cooking because I was going to be on stage interviewing the cook on board. So, what are you cooking for us today? So I was like, oh my God, I will have like my own cooking show on board. I was super excited about it. And yeah, I thought, okay, the dream job actually exists. I was doubting my life in the Netherlands. I was doubting working with education. I thought I need a new challenge. It's like a turning point in my life. And it kind of, came from the skies. Damn. And I thought, okay, I packed my life basically. So I packed everything I had in boxes. I stored everything at my mom's in Portugal because I thought, I made a few calculations. If I send everything to Portugal, it's cheaper than paying a storage here. You don't want to be paying like a rental if you are living on a cruise because, your house is moving. So there's no point of paying a rent to a place that you're not going to come to in the next 4 months. So,
Yeah.
I packed everything. I left a whole life I had arranged here for more than 10 years. I just, put everything away, left everything, left everybody, and I embarked in the craziest adventure of my life. So basically, I had the longest Thursday of my life when I started my assignment with this company because I started flying. I don't know the time, but I started flying very early in Amsterdam in the morning.
Can we
I
say the
think
name of the company? Just out of curiosity.
I maybe
No
not.
name. Okay. Company X. Company X.
Company X, yeah. So they traveled me from Amsterdam to Papeete, which is the capital of Tahiti. And I still arrived to Tahiti on the same day, 26 hours later. So I was like, I traveled all around from Amsterdam to LA to Papeete all in one day. I was completely confused, like, oh my God, which day is it? Still Thursday? No, cannot be still Thursday. It's still Thursday. And there I was in Papeete, ready to get some sleep. And then next day start the craziest adventure ever. So that's how it came to be.
Okay, so the cruise ship starts in Tahiti. That's what you say, and then
yeah, they were traveling already. They were en route, and
okay,
the assignment of the person before me would stop, and then I would have to come in and replace. And that was the place where I had to embark. So instead of making it easy and having me embark in Amsterdam, no, they flew me all the way down to Papeete.
Aaron is joining your moment and he's sympathizing. He's like, oh my God, what a adventure already. And
Yeah.
Aaron, we're not done yet. This is just the beginning. Okay, so
yeah.
you jump in straight away. I believe that's at least how I imagine the life in cruise ships are. They're gonna take you straight away. Like, okay, this is where you sleep, this is where you work, this is your team leader. You start straight away.
Yeah, and I didn't really know that because they promised to teach me, and I was super excited, obviously. And I remember, I arrived to the main square of Papeete by the harbor. I said, oh my God, look at that! The big ship is waiting. Super excited. It was like a lot of emotions. And I go in, and they just dragged me. They literally just dragged me into to go and get my how do you say that? Like the thingy with my name, like the little pin
Name
with my
tag.
name. Yes, a
name
tag with my function and everything. They took my suitcases because the girl I was gonna replace was still on board. I didn't have my own room yet. My own how do you say that? My cabin.
Yeah.
My cabin. And I was pretty high in the ranking. I was considered an officer, so I had a whole cabin with my own bathroom, which was luxury. But I had to stay in one underwater for under the sea level for a few days while she was still there to teach me. But it was like, you get in, you get the name tag, and bam, you start, go.
Yeah.
And I was completely lost. I haven't had any course, any training before because this company would train people on board, which was for me was easier to leave my previous job, for all the logistics involved was much easier. So I was really excited. Oh, I will learn on the job. Fantastic, so there I go. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Took me longer because I stopped in the United States. I had a stopover of a few hours in LA to change.
It's a long journey. Okay, so you start straight away.
Yes, I started straight away.
So when
learning
did you?
with my predecessor.
Yeah, probably at the beginning it's really because you said, "Oh, that's my dream job." Probably at the beginning you are a bit excited. Like at least a bit excited. Like, oh, okay, this is the stage. Like, whoo, this is the stage. This is my yeah, excitement. But when that started to cool off,
very quickly.
Very quickly,
Because then those courses that I was supposed to those trainings that I was supposed to
yeah,
receive were actually online. You have to realize that internet connection on board is an absolute nightmare. It's just a nightmare. It's like
even on big
you click
ships.
is even on those, and the crew has to pay. I had to pay to have my own internet, like $40 per, yeah, I don't know how many gigabytes anymore, but this was like, but then you click and you wait and you wait and you wait. And it was a training room where we were supposed to follow all these trainings, but it was the same. Even the pages of the training, they would take like an hour, literally. I'm not even just making an example. It was literally an hour to load. So it was an absolute nightmare to just take the courses. Then you have to, for example, fill in your hours.
Yeah.
And fill in your the time you work, but you're not supposed to say the truth and say that you had overtime. But I had overtime because the computer didn't work. No, but if you do that, then you get a fine. You cannot have overtime. Like, oh my God, these guys are completely nuts. Then I could not get out of the ship for 13 days on a row, because first we were like in the middle of the Pacific. There were no islands. The first island we stopped at after Papeete, it was raining so much. It was such bad weather, and the passengers always have priority. So I didn't get the time. When it was my time to get out, I couldn't, because you always have to be on board before the passengers come back. So I couldn't. So that was already like, oh my God, when am I gonna, go out and see something? I know I'm not on a holiday, but I was promised to have a few hours a day for myself, So that was like, oh my God, okay, that's okay. So then we stopped in San Diego. In San Diego, I was not allowed out, because the first time you stop at United States, you still have to get a special stamp. Though you already have all the visas and everything, you need a special stamp. So first time you are not allowed out, because, in the US, they're paranoid. You want to stay there because of the American dream. And I'm like, I'm European. I don't see your point there, but okay. And so after 13 days, I finally get out in Vancouver, and I had 4 hours. And the first thing I did was run for my life for the first place where I could get some free Wi-Fi to tell my family I'm alive, because up until then, internet was working so badly. I could barely tell anybody that I was alive, family and friends. It was like awful. And then in those days, I found out that the stage and the microphone and interviewing the cook was the least of my tasks, because I had an American contract, and at the end, I had all the tasks described, and at the very end it was like, and you might be asked to do other things, and that was the one alinea of the 20. So when you get on board, it's flipped. That's all I do, all the other things except, I had to share a working computer with another 10 people in the same office. Besides the computer of the training, there was another computer that I had to use, but it was one shared computer. I had to do a lot of things there, like prepare certificates for people that were renovating their vows, and the captain would be the preacher, renovating their vows.
Okay, priest in a way, maybe.
But no, but he was not a priest. He was just preaching, really. It was not. I don't know how. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know how you officially call that. But anyway, I had to prepare those certificates, but I couldn't because the computer was taken. Everybody was there before me, so I had to wait for like 10 in the morning, 10 in the night, or later to do it. I had to do pom-poms with people, because there was this arts and crafts thing that also belongs to my function, but nobody told me beforehand. So I had to go with the old people to a room and just teach them how to make.
What was the worst task that you were asked to do? The worst?
I think the pom-poms are pretty high up there.
Really?
It was horrible.
That sounds like an easy task. You sit down with the...
But do you know how to do a pom-pom? I don't know how to do a pom-pom. I don't like arts and crafts, and I wasn't told how to be doing that.
Didn't show you how to do it?
One time. So I had to do that. I had to accompany the captain to the official dinners of the frequent.
Like what? Like hand to hand?
Yeah, also. Uh, the frequent flyers equivalent on a ship, people gather like little stars. The
Yeah.
more they travel with a certain company, and then they're invited to the captain's table to have dinner with them, but with him. But then it's very complicated to for him to speak with everybody, so we need someone to share the task. I was never told that would be the case, that it would be me.
So you are the date of the captain.
Exactly. That was the subliminal message that nobody told me either. So I was not just a hostess of the dinner or the co-hostess, but
Yeah.
everybody started winking and like, oh, tonight you have the dinner with the captain. And he did make passes on me. And then you're like thinking, okay, what do I do? Where do I run to? I can't run anywhere unless I jump off the ship.
Oh dear.
So it
Okay,
was
so
a very Me Too situation in a place you cannot run away. So it's like,
so how did you exit then?
how did I exit? So after the build-up of all this, oh no, let me just tell you a funny story
Yeah,
before I tell you how
please.
I left.
I love fun
Funny story.
stories.
The funniest of all, I think, was when I found out that people in my position were also part of the entertainment team.
Yeah.
And the entertainers are responsible for the boats that you use in case of emergency to leave the safe boats. I can't even remember the word anymore.
Lifeboats?
The lifeboats, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So I was responsible for a lifeboat. I'm like, me? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm responsible for the lifeboat? Yeah, you live here, so your cabin is here, and your lifeboat is there, like on the complete opposite of the ship. You
Yeah.
have to think that's more than 700 meters, 750 meters one side. So it's like 1500 if you go round. It's big.
Okay.
It's a big thing. And I have to run in case of emergency to my cabin, grab the life vest, and then run to the boat, to the lifeboat, and guide the people that were assigned to that boat. On the drill, when the first passengers come in, everybody's obliged to go to the drill and learn what to do. It was their first drill because they were, in the ship for the first time as passengers, and my first drill too.
Yeah.
I have never been to a drill in my life. So I'm there with the life vest and hearing the captain, hello, this is your captain. Now we are going to have a drill. If something happens, you have to put your life vest like this. And I'm thinking, where, how? Smiling at those 250 people that belong to that boat and trying to figure how to put the life vest myself. And then you pull here if blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, pull where, where is it? And you like blow here if something, and I am there completely confused, trying to pretend, to be serious and pretend I know what I'm doing to give the people the feeling that I could help them in case of emergency. And thinking to myself, I'll jump before you because I have no idea of what I'm doing. So you should see the faces of those people looking at me.
Of course, because their life depends on you, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, I hope nothing happens because we're dead."
Because she's helpless, and I totally was. So all these things built up. Also, I was assigned. I embarked in Papeete, but I was going to be the whole summer in Alaska, and it was cold in Alaska.
Oh, when did you go?
I went to Anchorage and to Juneau and to Sitka.
When did you go there?
Columbia. It was summer.
It wasn't cold. I spent time in Alaska on a ship, anchored in the sea. It was June. God. It was windy. I needed a jacket, yes, but it wasn't super cold. But when you were talking about these cars that you pay for internet, that I had a flashback because I needed to do the same. Right? You need to pay for these things because we had a cinema, but you don't live stream anything. That's not happening. You have some preset movies and you watch everything very, very quickly, very quickly.
Exactly.
But that just rewinded.
Ring a bell. Yes. And we had like a few hours in Juneau each time, but it wasn't cold, but it was not Portuguese summer, Oh. It was Portuguese autumn. And I was like, this is very disappointing. I want summer. It was always raining. But it was beautiful. I cannot deny it was absolutely gorgeous.
It was.
Of the glaciers. It was fantastic. It's really, really impressive. So, but all the summer there, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna go crazy. I am gonna go completely crazy. So after all these small things and having to work in the line dancing with the people at night.
Oh, line dance. I love line dance. Cotton Eye Joe. You know this?
Yeah. But I didn't know the choreographies and I was supposed to guide people. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. How do I do this? How do I do this?
So everybody who doesn't know, Google line dancing. I mean, probably Elsa doesn't like it. Maybe she did it too many times. I don't know.
I did it too much. Yeah.
But this is a thing in entertainment. So line dancing, you pick a song like Cotton Eye Joe. If you just Google Cotton Eye Joe line dancing, and then you have like moves that are repeating themselves. So you just start dancing and you teach the audience, and ideally everybody should end up dancing. Yeah, that's the ideal scenario. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It is fun, but when you're obliged to do it every night, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah. Aaron says we're funny. I'm sure that what we need to see is Elsa dancing. That's what we need to see next. But anyway, next
time. So next time, exactly.
Okay.
When I manage to do a tango show, I'll let you know. I'll send you a link. Yeah. No, but basically, so all that was building up, and I was like, I didn't live a whole life in the Netherlands for having like 2 to 3 hours free a day to run through all the shops, cruise-owned shops in Juneau, for example, and back, and not even having internet. And you go out and you go to McDonald's or to sorry, I'm making a publicity here, but I don't mean to.
That's all right. That's all right.
Starbucks cafe where the internet is for free, so I can tell my family I'm alive, and I don't even have time to really see anything, in those few hours I have free for myself. And I thought, this is something that I think if it's your first job ever, if you're very young, and if you are an officer or like a part of the technical crew, or in that you really need it, like some of the people that were working there, that it was a very good salary and it really needed, then it's fine. But in my case, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for an adventure, but also to grow, in some way. And I felt that I didn't have the chance to grow. I was stuck inside for 4 days. There was one time in the beginning, 4 days, I couldn't even go to the deck. I didn't have the time. So I was at sea, and I was only with airco. I couldn't even, breathe the fresh air of the sea because there was no time.
The what?
The fresh air of the airco, air conditioning.
Oh, okay.
I was stuck inside. I didn't have the time to just, go out the deck and back. No time. So I thought, this is stupidifying. This is not what I left my life for. And at that stage in my life, that was not making me happy. So during the probation period, because that's all I knew by heart, and the internet did not allow me to go to my Dropbox and check my contract. The only thing I knew by heart was I have a month probation period. So if I quit during the probation period, I don't have to pay a fine or be sued. God knows, it's the American it's an American contract. God knows if they're going to sue me or send me to prison, or I don't know, or what you see in the film. So I thought, no, I'm quitting during the probation period because it wasn't working for me.
So did you survive the whole month, or?
I survived 3.5 weeks.
3.5 weeks, almost a month.
And then I ran back. And then I was threatened by the company that the States might give me an escort from the moment I would leave the ship to the moment I would embark on the airplane. I could not even say, okay, I stay a few days in the States and I travel. No, I was not allowed to even do that on the way out.
Because you don't have a visa.
Because I had the working visa, but they were afraid I would, evade or something, want to stay in the States. So they said, you will probably be assigned an escort, and that will cost you $100 an hour. And I was going to be 7 hours in Seattle waiting for my flight back. I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely nuts. And I was having the talk with the officer from the immigration. And when he said that I might be assigned, when I started laughing, I told him, man, I'm American. I'm European. I don't see the point of the American dream. I'm European. Why would I want to stay here? Come on, man. We have more holiday than you. We
have... Is that what you say? We have more holidays than you?
This is not the dream for me. I'm European. I don't want to stay. Don't worry. So I was not assigned any any escort, luckily, but I could not leave the airport, so I couldn't even use those 7 hours to travel around Seattle or visit anything in the city. So that was really sad.
That must have been another big blow, because one, you
Mm.
think like, oh, dream job, and then quickly you're put down to the ground like this is
Yeah,
far away from your dream job. But then
yeah,
you're thinking you go to really places that people are like so fancy to go for holiday, and
yeah,
you think like you're gonna have at least few hours to explore. But
yeah,
life is difficult. I mean, different,
yeah. Yeah, the
different.
expectation was not, I knew I was not going to have 3 days, but I thought I would have some free hours, to live and not
Yeah,
to just work. So again, I think that's a good job for someone who's very young, and then you don't need to sleep. I love
definitely,
my sleep. I love my sleep.
definitely.
you know?
I I worked as an entertainer in
Yeah.
the entertainment business, but I was in hotels, not
Mm.
in
But
cruise
it's
ship.
also heavy.
It
It's
is
also
heavy.
heavy.
Oh,
Yeah.
6 days and you work 12 hours,
Yeah.
12 hours a day or something like that. But I really enjoyed it. I did 3 years in Bulgaria, 2 years in Greece, and then 1 year in Spain. And
Mm-hmm.
then after my second year in Bulgaria, I got together with one colleague of mine, and
Mm-hmm.
we decided to go for a ship, to
Yeah.
work on a ship as an
Yeah.
entertainer. So we got our documents, we got our applications, everything ready. And my old boss contacted me because he was promoted. My own
Mm-hmm.
boss contacted me and he said, hey, are you going to come back next season? We would love to have you. And I said, actually, no, I'm not going
Uh-huh.
to come. And I was excited. I was going to a ship because the person I was going to was a close friend of mine. We were really
Yeah.
close at that time.
Yeah.
And then 2 days after that, my boss called me again. He's like, okay, what about if you will be the next team leader of the hotel? I'm like,
Damn.
it's so
Yeah. It's a
tempting. So
hard decision.
so I took the team leader position because I thought I'm gonna learn way more.
Mm.
So I did that. Ended up well. We didn't keep much contact with the guy who went on ship. I mean, our
Yeah.
relationship broke in that time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in general, I'm not sorry. But yeah,
Mm.
I hear from people that
Tough.
work there a lot of work,
The
a
best
lot of work.
jobs on board, the absolute best jobs on board are musicians, the singers, and the dancers, because
Why? Because they don't ask them to do other things.
they don't ask them to do anything else. They have the best cabins with windows,
Yeah.
and they have the best salaries and the most time off. And they can
Ah,
use all the facilities. I was lucky enough I could, have dinner with the passengers, for example, use the same restaurants as the passengers. Some people, depending on the ranking, they are not allowed. I
yeah.
was lucky enough to, but you always have to change and you have to run. And I was, my cabin was at the back and the restaurant was at the front of the ship, so I had to always run back and forth because you're not allowed to go with the same clothes over day, then you go overnight, so all
Yeah.
these little rules. So it's very, very hierarchical,
So how
extremely.
many hours you work per day and how many days per week?
Well, 7 days a week for sure. You don't have a day
Okay.
off.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
the hours, they're not, they told me it would be 8, it was 10 to 12, and sometimes they were scattered. So I
Yeah.
didn't have like my
Yeah.
8 hours sleep, for example,
Yeah.
because the working hours was a bit scattered at times. So that was also heavy.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And then
Yeah.
when you go to the toilet, you're like that. You know, I
Yeah.
this is one
And
of the things I
the
remember.
shower, you have to, hold on to the walls because sometimes it's really moving. If it's rocky seas, oh my God, yeah.
So,
But you have
so
a lot of fun. In my case, I could go to the officers' bar, and the
yeah.
officers' bar on that ship was like do you call it the bow? I can't remember. Like the front of the ship, like the Titanic,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And we were like really at that part of the ship, like at the Titanic, and the passengers were not allowed there. So the officers' bar was awesome. You could be outside and have drinks and just look at the beautiful skies all night long if you wanted. It was yeah, that part was amazing. Yeah.
So what happened after that? How long was that ago?
This is, let me think, 2016.
Okay, so what happened after that? How has your life been so far?
So that has been, a big blow, a very big blow, like you said, because I left everything behind to start something new, to try something new. And all of a sudden, I had no job. I have no right to unemployment benefit. I have no
Yeah.
house. I have nothing but the 2 suitcases I had taken with me. And I was obliged to fly back to the Netherlands. I was not even allowed to fly to Portugal, where my stuff was. So I fly back and I'm like, and now what? So I ended up at a friend's house, and by via my network, I got a job to teach in a summer school in Prague. So I ended up all summer teaching personal and professional development in Prague. And it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And then I was still working in Mallorca for...
I was working in Mallorca. Where did you go?
Well, I was in Mallorca, Palma de Mallorca,
Palma.
the main city.
I was on the East Coast.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Really nice
the
place.
mountain part, no?
Well, where I wasn't much of a mountain. I needed to travel a bit, but I think mountains were a bit south or north. The east part didn't have many mountains.
Okay.
But anyway, Mallorca, really nice place.
It's amazing. I love it. And I was working for this startup, and they were starting with an app with restaurants where people could connect abroad and say, "Hey, where should I go?" It was the Tinder of the restaurants, they called it. After a while, that's how it was nicknamed. It was nicknames like that. And then I had to research the restaurants in Portugal for them and make all the translations for the app. So then I was there for a while. So, but those were like all small things that I had to grab, and I was trying to see what to do next. And then I realized that I really felt home in the Netherlands after all, and that I actually wanted to come back, and now I'm here.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so in conclusion, let's wrap it up. What would you say for people getting excited for jobs, one, and what would you say for people wanted to go on cruise ships?
Okay, I'll start with the second. If you want to go on a cruise ship and work there, like I said, usually it's better, I think, if you're very young and you have lots of energy and you really want to party, and you will not have a private life. Your life will be your work. It's a one thing. There's no time for private, also because you live with your colleagues, you work with your colleagues, you use everything, it's like a mini city. You can't go anywhere. So you have to realize that. That said, if you are very young and you want to travel and party a lot, I think it's amazing. And you can sleep 2-3 hours, and every day you are in a different place. And if you're lucky, maybe you can get out of the boat on that day and just see at least a beautiful beach and have all those pictures with the cruise ship in the back. They always have the cruise ship in the back. You can never go that far, you don't see it. You should pay attention to that. People that work on cruise ships always have the picture, with the crew. So I would say that. And then about the dream job, you said, right?
Yeah. So people getting excited about jobs, and then I mean, I don't know. Do you think people should be getting excited about these things before they taste them?
Oh my God, yeah. Excitement drives. You need that life energy to. For me, I need to be excited. I need to feel that energy inside to go and take action and do something.
Okay, maybe not excitement, but expectations.
Expectations, I think you should manage them. Everybody should manage the expectations and ask all the questions you can think of. And if you think you've asked everything there was to ask, find someone who works there and ask more. Ask, because I think I didn't ask everything, and I let the excitement take over. And I didn't pay attention to the answers, I think. And I could have been a bit more cold, if you will, in asking my questions before you take such a leap, because it was such a leap. Then if you tell me, about work and passion, I'm doing the podcast, like I told you, and I'm doing voiceover, and I do all that with passion. I didn't jump. I still have my my day job, and I combine them, but I need that to be happy. So I think everybody, needs to feel it their own way, but needs to feel that excitement to be happy in a job. And if not, I mean, if you're just working for the money, I could never do that. I can't judge anybody. But
you said it straight at the beginning. We said that we click, we think alike. Yeah, I agree that because we have so many things in common straight away. I can feel it that even before starting the recording, we were thinking about the same things, and I see that we're on the same wave regarding to happiness, which is great. Great, I love it. Happiness should be the driving factor, not money or where you live or whatever it is. But are you happy in that place? Are you happy with that job? Are you happy where you live? Are you happy with who you live with? So I'm so happy to know you. I can't wait to stay in touch. I can't wait to stay in touch. And then
I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed meeting you. And I have exact the same feeling, the exact same feeling that we are in the same wave. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Final words. Anything you would like to wish to our listeners and viewers? The stage is yours.
Well, I wish them to enjoy the summer. I wish them to be healthy, with all the craziness happening around us. And I wish them to follow their passions and to travel to, beautiful places. There's always something to learn, even if it is like only 3 weeks on a cruise ship. There's always something to learn. Just go. Don't stay at home only.
Well said. Well said. Elsa, thanks so much for joining us. It was a great
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Maybe one day we'll
Thank
do
you.
another episode with you, but I would really love that. Have a
I would
wonderful
love
day.
that too. Perfect. Lovely to meet you.